Hey guys, it's Charles Osman here with Liquid Blue Cabarete in Cabarete, Dominican Republic. And today we're going to talk about, is it worth getting a full carbon setup for winging, for prone foiling, and this might even apply for kiteboarding. So right back here, just going to take off these covers. Right here we have a Phantom 1280 with an 85 high modulus F1 mast, full carbon, and then everything else, the stabilizer and the stab are carbon. Is it worth getting a setup like this? So generally speaking, when you're talking about the plane, most brands, when they have sort of an intermediate premium wing, they're gonna have it in carbon, most likely. Now, there are some versions, like back here, you have the FCT, which is our learning foils, which might even have the same name, and they're the same exact shape. The only thing is that the construction's different, and they're around 30 to 50% cheaper. But most of the time across the brands, what I've seen is that if you're gonna go into something that's more intermediate performance, is gonna be in carbon, at least this part. Now, in terms of the mast, on this board right back here, I have an aluminum mast, and here I have a full carbon one. So, should you get a full carbon one? And the reality is this, is that for most people, the answer is no. And the reason is that it might not even be available. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that you're gonna be paying 30 to 50% more for something that you might not feel the difference in reality. And back in the day, and also depending on the company, the aluminum masts were actually stiffer than the carbon mast, which means you're essentially paying more for something that wasn't really worth it. That's not the case with F1, and that's not the case right now, though that was the case with various companies, and it still might be the case today. I don't really keep up with every single piece of equipment out there. Now, the next piece of carbon that you can get is the board. So this board right here is not the carbon version. We do have the carbon version coming in, though going back to it, it's not for everyone. And this is what I was mentioning, that you just gotta watch out that these wings don't fly away. That the carbon equipment in general has been taking a long time for people to get their hands on. So first you have to wait a long time. You probably have to pre-order it. So you really have to know what you need specifically and then hope it's the right thing, and you might not even get to test it. So you might be just benefiting from getting a regular board. That is great. I've been using a regular board for the last year and a half, and it's been phenomenal. I've been doing everything from jumping to proning waves to wing foiling to doing downwinders to doing it all with a regular board. So you don't really need carbon in reality, but if you're thinking to ever go down the route of jumping, I would highly recommend carbon, because there you're gonna have that extra strength to avoid any sort of cracking or deteriorating of the board that you might encounter in a regular board construction. So that's really the only reason when you start needing carbon, is for those guys that are jumping, or those guys that want something very responsive and direct, which carbon offers, because it's a lot stiffer, so it's more of a direct feel. It doesn't have that same flex as aluminum does, or as a regular board might have. So with that being said, you really don't need carbon, but the ones that do need it most likely know they need it, so they're gonna get it. Because a full carbon set like this nowadays is probably gonna run around $5 grand new off the shelf. So that's a big investment for a lot of people, just for the foil to the mast, the board. So if you want to save some money, if you want to have still some amazing equipment, then maybe you get just a performance wing, and then the aluminum mast and a normal board, then you're gonna be good to go, and you're gonna save yourself some dollars, and you really won't know the difference. So that's it, guys, for this video. I hope it helps you out if you're thinking to get something in carbon or not. And as you can tell, the video should end because the wings they want to go out, they want to fly. So we'll keep in touch, and I'm gonna leave you as always with a view of Cabarete. And this is Charles with Liquid Blue Cabarete in Cabarete, Dominican Republic.